I hate to say it, but these clowns who are around our president are extremely immature, narcissistic people. So
hate crimes in the U.S. went up enormously as soon as Donald Trump started running for president.
He decided to completely dismantle and destroy USAID, which is the wing of the U.S. government that was started around the time of Ronald Reagan, I believe.
Forget inner peace. This is inner beef. In a year already brimming with chaos and uncertainty, the world now finds itself embroiled in a feud so utterly unexpected, so bizarrely mismatched, that it's enough to make even the most jaded celebrity gossip junkie do a collective spit take. The players? Richard Gere, the very embodiment of Hollywood's nicest guy, a walking meditation app wrapped in cashmere scarves, and Donald Trump, the former reality TV star turned former president whose entire personality.
Coming from a place now that we're in a very dark place in America, where we have a bully and a thug who is the president of the United States.
Is built on never backing down from a public feud. It's a clash of polar opposites, a battle of good versus evil, peace versus pandemonium. And yet, somehow, these two unlikely combatants have found themselves locked in a battle of words that has the entire internet buzzing with a delicious, disbelieving glee. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And, of course, watch till the end.
Our president has pushed it to the limit. It can't go any further than this. I mean, he came out of reality show television. He's like a game show person.
How did we get here, you ask? Well, strap in, because this is a story that's equal parts hilarious, heartbreaking, and completely, utterly bonkers. For decades, Richard Gere has been the quintessential Hollywood good guy, the man who practically radiates incense and peaceful energy, a living, breathing embodiment of the Tibetan Buddhism he has devoted so much of his life to. His brand has been all about quiet humanitarian work, soothing acceptance speeches laced with phrases like love and compassion, and the kind of zen-like aura that makes you believe he could deliver a lecture on kindness while balancing a lotus flower on his head. In short, Gere is the last person you'd expect to be throwing verbal punches in the year 2025. The guy is a walking meditation app, for Shiva's sake. He's the kind of person who makes you want to drop everything, find your nearest yoga studio, and lose yourself in a state of blissful, Om-filled serenity. And then, there's Donald Trump, the former reality TV villain turned former president, a man whose entire personality is built on never backing down from a public feud. The guy whose playbook is as simple as it is ruthless. If you so much as breathe wrong in his direction, you're getting a 200-word social media rant, complete with random capital letters and a sprinkle of sad for flavor. Trump is the human embodiment of a Twitter storm, a walking, talking, toupee-wearing symbol of the chaos and division that has come to define the modern political landscape. He's the kind of person who would probably just call Gere a balding Buddha and move on, never mind the carefully crafted metaphors about the impermanence of the ego. It's a clash of polar opposites, a battle of good versus evil, peace versus pandemonium. And yet, somehow, these two unlikely combatants have found themselves locked in a battle of words that has the entire internet buzzing with a delicious, disbelieving glee. It all started on a night that was supposed to be Richard Gere's victory lap, a Lifetime Achievement Award ceremony where the Hollywood elite had gathered to honor one of their own with a perfectly packaged legacy moment. The room was primed and ready, filled with the gentle hum of piano music and a highlight reel of Gere's most iconic cinematic moments, from the smoldering glances of Pretty Woman to the tender embraces of his countless humanitarian exploits. This was supposed to be a night of warm nostalgia, a celebration of a career that had been defined by art, compassion, and the power of cinema to change the world. And then, Gere took the podium. Instead of the humble, gracious speech everyone had been expecting, the one filled with heartfelt gratitude and lofty proclamations about the healing power of love, Gere did the unthinkable. He looked out over the sea of A-list faces and, with a steely gaze that belied his usual zen-like demeanor, he unleashed a scathing tirade against the former president himself, Donald Trump. "This man," Gere declared, his voice dripping with a rare venom, "is a bully, a thug, a shameless purveyor of fear and division."
And that's a fact. But I don't even think the people who elected him really believed that he was going to do what he said he was going to do.
Who has done untold damage to the very fabric of our society. The room fell silent, save for the collective gasp that rippled through the audience. Even the most seasoned veterans of Hollywood's cutthroat culture were left stunned, their jaws hanging open in a mix of shock and disbelief. After all, this was Richard Gere, the embodiment of Hollywood's nicest guy, a man whose brand was practically synonymous with inner peace and the pursuit of a higher consciousness. And yet, here he was, throwing verbal punches with the sort of reckless abandon that would make even the most seasoned reality TV villain blush. It was the kind of moment that made everyone do a collective spit take. Even the people clapping were probably looking around like, wait, did Richard Gere just pop?
Stimulate fear. And that fear causes us to do really terrible things.
Off? As the dust settled and the collective shock began to wear off, all eyes turned to the man at the center of Gere's scathing tirade, Donald Trump. You see, when it comes to public feuds, Trump is like a shark. He can smell the slightest hint of blood in the water, and he's never one to back down from a fight. And boy, did Gere just throw down the gauntlet in a big way. And so, as the former president sat in one of his gilded hotel suites, sipping on a Diet Coke and undoubtedly scrolling through the avalanche of social media reactions, the wheels in his mind must have been turning at a breakneck pace.
The most horrible thing that Trump has done, he's conflated two words, refugee and terrorist.
Pace. What could he possibly say to this unexpected attack from one of Hollywood's most beloved icons? How could he possibly reclaim the narrative and come out on top in this battle of good versus evil? The tension was palpable as the world held its collective breath, waiting with bated anticipation for Trump's inevitable response. Would he unleash a barrage of his signature insults and personal attacks? Would he try to turn the tables and paint Gere as the villain? Or would he, against all odds, take the high road and engage in a moment of genuine self-reflection? In the end, the Gere-Trump feud served as a sobering wake-up call, a stark reminder of the urgent need to confront the forces of division and hatred that have taken root in our society. It was a battle that laid bare the consequences of unchecked narcissism, fear-mongering, and the erosion of basic human empathy. But it was also a battle that underscored the power of individuals to make a difference, to stand up and speak out against the forces of darkness. Richard Gere, in his moment of defiance, had shown the world that even the most seemingly intractable problems can be tackled.
Administration is pulling back from all of those human responsibilities, and it seems all he cares about is money.
Tackled with the simple yet profound weapons of love, compassion, and the unwavering belief in the inherent dignity of all human beings. And so, as we look to the future, let us be inspired by Gere's example. Let us find the courage to confront the Trumps of the world, to call out their toxic brand of divisiveness and fear-mongering wherever it may arise. Let us be the beacons of hope and understanding that our world so desperately needs, and let us remember that the true path to lasting change lies not in the chaos of endless feuds, but in the quiet, steadfast pursuit of a more just, compassionate, and united world. Because in the end, that is the legacy we all must strive to leave behind, not the petty squabbles and headline-grabbing drama, but the lasting impact of our actions, our words, and our unwavering commitment to the values that truly matter. So, let us heed the lessons of the Gere-Trump feud.
It's much worse than what he even said. The profundity, the dark profundity of what he's been doing in the last week is mind-boggling.
And this kind of very foolish tribalism is starting to take us over, where we think we're all separate from each other. And we have unfortunately elected officials